Well, hello everybody. Welcome to a little impromptu plein air adventure. I decided, because it's been almost 2 months since I've done plein air at all, that I was going to do something that seemed a little, I don't know, less intimidating, less scary, and that is me doing plein air in my neighborhood. So right now I'm on my electric bike and I'm gonna cruise the surrounding parks. We have a lake even. I'm thinking my goal is to head to the lake and see if that's a good location for painting. And so I thought I'd take you on this adventure with me. It's definitely something new for me. It'd be fun though. Me and my husband have recently gotten into riding our electric vehicles more. So he got an electric scooter and we've had this electric bike for many years and we've been riding them more and it's been really fun, and it inspired me to do this plein air in my neighborhood idea. But yeah, there's a barking dog behind me, so let's move on. And I have a lot of stuff on me, my whole plein air backpack. We're doing oil painting today. So my goal is to stay on balance with all this extra weight. If something happens, you will know. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't have my helmet on. 1 second. All right, guys, so this is the lake. And then what I discovered last time is that there are all these like lily pads here. And I know I've painted ponds with grass and water. I haven't painted anything with like lily pads in it. So I thought doing like a more macro type painting of the lily pads would be cool. I like the dark musky waters. Maybe with like the grass in it. Maybe just of the water. Yeah. It's a bit sunny, but it's okay. I got sunscreen on and a hood, so pale girl can do this. All right. So we're gonna set up and then narrow in on what we're gonna focus on. There's also that little patch of water in the middle. It's kind of pretty. Let's see. Okay, so here's the setup. Got my palette knife. Got linseed oil. No, I think Gambling light. I'll have to look it up. I'll let you know on the screen here. White paint, which I always bring separate, and then some brushes. Paint thinner. I decided I'm gonna focus on this little patch here. I try to go based off what might have the most consistent sun, and kind of looks like that might be in the sun most of the time. So yeah, that's what we're going for. Now we just gotta get started. Let me see. I think I'll do my little viewfinder with my hands to cheat. So I'm just gonna start by taking burnt umber and keep it very dry, like dry brush my sketch onto there. Alright, so I don't know if I touched on it a little bit earlier when I first was getting going, but my goal this week is to do 2 to 3 different outings in my neighborhood of plein air. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do a different medium every day as well. So today's oil paint, and then I'm thinking tomorrow will be watercolor, and then a day of gouache, just to kind of mix it up. And I haven't been doing a lot of art lately because I've been in like selling at market mode the past like 2 months. So I kind of just want to refresh myself, my mind, my hands, my muscle memory with like all of the mediums that I like to use. So it's kind of like a little get back into it warm-up week for me. And that's gonna be the goal for this video. 2 to 3 different days, depending on time and weather. And then I will be sharing it with you guys. And if you have followed along long enough, I've had this conversation before, but I'm going to kind of repeat it, is that I get nervous, anxious, scared to do anything when I've gone like 2+ weeks without doing it. So I kind of reference it to being kind of like working out. Like if you're on a routine and a schedule, it comes like habit and it's easy, you know, or it's easier to get yourself to do it, and mentally it's not as taxing. But if you go like more than 2 weeks, you start maybe not going anymore because you feel like your body's out of shape. And I don't know, it's just a fear that comes with something not being routine. And I think it's the same thing for basically any hobby I do, and crafting, and that goes with art as well, and painting. It's been almost 2 months since I've done a plein air painting, and it took a lot of courage and self-talk to get me out here today. It's one of those things, like, you know, you love doing it. You might even like love working out, but doesn't mean you're not anxious to like start back. So feeling a little anxious today, but I think doing this kind of low-key neighborhood stroll, bike and paint experience would be a good warm-up getting back into it. I also want to, you know, get back to camping as well. And I live in SoCal, so there's plenty of options in the winter time to go camping. I've been talking to some people about spots that they recommend, and there's something pretty close by that year-round would be good weather for going to. So that might be the next plein air thing we do after this week. Might have to wait till the new year though, because holidays. All right, I think I've done most of my like blocking of the shadows. I'm gonna start putting in some color. Try my best not to get too caught up in the details in the beginning here, because there's so much to look at when you're looking at a freaking pond of a million lily pads. I'm not trying to paint every single leaf on the water, because that would probably take me like, you know, 30 hours, 3 full sessions to do something like that. So my goal is to kind of keep it loose, and let's just see what happens. I've never painted anything like this. I'm pretty new to painting water in general, so this may be my 4th painting that includes water of some kind. So I'm definitely still new. Let's see, let's mix like a darker olivey green. At least that's the idea. Do want to get better at showing you guys my palette. I don't know if it's a good view because it's so shaded. So here I just use ultramarine blue, cad yellow medium, and some alizarin crimson. And I like this green that I have here to start out with. Let's just block in some of the leaves here. And as it gets farther back, it's kind of like small leaves, medium leaves, and then like the large ones are in the back. So the medium ones pretty much don't have water peeking through for the most part, so. Block those in and maybe just add some like shadows at the end. Trying really hard to keep in mind that like things that are farther away should be like lighter in color. And to keep my brush strokes going in different directions, so it's not like every leaf looks the same. It's my way of trying to simplify what's going on out here. I don't know if you can see. This is the area that I'm painting right here. So you can see like how they're bigger, medium, and small. And then like I have the dark water here that I'll be painting in. So it's a pretty complicated scene to start out with, but this, I couldn't get this out of my mind once we saw it the other day. Like, this is just what I wanted to paint. But gotta start somewhere. Why not challenge yourself? Trying to keep the light tones in the front at a minimum if I can help it. All right, gotta be honest with you guys, both my cameras, my Osmo camera and my phone were both just like overheating. I couldn't like film most of the process, but here it is. I kept it loose because with all the different lily pads and leaves in there, like, I just don't know how I would accomplish this painting, trying to paint every leaf with detail. Overall, I like it. I like the colors that I've used. I tried to make the background more like less detailed, more like fading into the back with lighter colors, and kept the dark colors in the front. So I hope it translates. Here's the painting with the subject. All right, cool. I'm gonna clean up and then I will take you guys on my little ride back home. All right, I am back on the bike. I would say, what was that session? Just short of 2 hours long. So now I'm just gonna do the ride back home, which is all downhill. So in case my bike battery does actually die, I will be okay. But yeah, other than the sun kind of hitting hard, it was nice and peaceful, and there wasn't too many folks walking by, which is nice. I think that kind of concludes day one of Plein Air, my neighborhood, and oil painting. All right, let's head back. Not to disturb all the ducks and geese over here. Hope they don't mind. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Danger. Sorry, dudes. Actually, it's like just ducks today. I don't see any geese. Beep, beep. Sorry, sorry. All right, making a quick stop to catch some Pokemon. I'm still very much a beginner at this, so don't judge me. Is my avatar cool? So for day 2, we are doing watercolor, so it's time to switch out the supplies in the backpack from oil painting to my watercolor supplies. And this is my micro portable painter palette that I am bringing with me. It's my favorite like travel palette that I have. A little spray bottle for wetting my paints. And then this little section here holds all of my travel brushes, which these here are all Sarah Byrne Studio travel brushes, which are awesome. Highly recommend. And then here I just have a regular graphite pencil. And then this is actually a graphite pencil that is water soluble. So sometimes that's really fun to sketch with. And then just a white pen, black gel pen, and then this eraser. Love this eraser, by the way. Kneaded eraser. And then just a regular mechanical eraser. And then, of course, you can't forget paper towels, which sometimes I do forget. These clips here hold the sketchbook pages open for me, which all fit very nicely in this front little pocket here. A little bottle for water for my paints. And my handy dandy sketchbook I like to take for Plein Air. And time to put all that into the backpack. So I'll just be bringing that little travel kit with me, my roll of brushes, and, well, a battery for my camera, and just a bottle of water. Then here you can see I stuffed my sketchbook in its own little pocket, which keeps it nice and safe and protected. And then my 2 tripods, ready to go. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Plein Air in my neighborhood. I am all ready to go. I am packed and I honestly don't know where I will be painting today. So we're just gonna do a stroll through town and see where we land. I'm hoping to pick a shady spot today because I don't feel like sitting in the sun. I kind of want to I even brought like my stool. I don't know if you can see it. I want to be able to sit down and kind of enjoy the watercolor that we're doing today. I prefer to sit down when using watercolor just because there tends to be more stuff to set up. Not really more so than oil, but like, I don't know, when using watercolor, I feel like I need my water, my paints, my sketchbook, in my lap, you know, so we'll see what we can find. I don't really have any kind of subject in particular that I want to paint, so it could be a rock, it could be some flowers, it can be a tree. It's just, I guess I'll know when I see it. But yeah, let's get going. I have my helmet, I got my stuff, my phone, my camera, my water. I think I have it all. I also have my Pokemon Go set up and ready to go so I can level up. I have some goals in mind with my Pokemon Go this week. Pokemon Go. So let's get out of the garage. Turn my bike on. All right, we're fully charged on the bike, so hopefully no problems today. Yesterday it kept saying it was running out of battery, but then not, and I wasn't sure what was going on. It's another warmer day today. Yesterday was a high of like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is warm for December, but I live in SoCal, so it happens. I'm not getting out till 10:30 right now, so it is a bit warmer if I had left earlier, but that's okay. Got my sunscreen on, and we'll be okay. If you've been around long enough, you've watched me do Plein Air all summer, and you see me sweaty and red-faced, so no difference today. It is nice being on the bike though, because you get a breeze while you're going. And you gotta love electric bikes. Uphill's no problem. I hate doing uphill on a regular bike. It's like torture for me. I tried doing triathlons once, like several years ago, and it truly was the cycling part that made me rethink that. Not to mention I suck at swimming, so the only part I was decent at was the running part. Anyway, I hope you guys can hear me okay. There is obviously a lot of wind, but I have my little windscreen on my microphone, so I'm curious to see how this audio comes out. If it's terrible, then you won't be hearing it, I guess. Let me show you some of the neighborhood. What's nice about my neighborhood is that it has these nice, large paved trails that go through the different houses and neighborhoods. And it's something I kind of rediscovered recently when me and my husband started doing the Pokemon Go again and actually going around our neighborhood. I used to be an avid runner. I'd do like half marathons a lot, and I would run out, I would know my neighborhood better back then, but it's been so many years that I kind of forgot that this trail system existed here. And yeah, it's so nice. It's almost like I moved into a new neighborhood all over again. And this trail takes you from like the 2 different pools that our HOA has and the lake that we went to yesterday. It's nice. And it's mostly shaded. Big added bonus. All right, so I got up next to where the clubhouse is in our HOA. And what do you call these? Like Angry Bird or some kind of bird plant. I was like, oh, I could do Plein Air of like a singular flower, right? So it's definitely a possibility. And these ones are in the shade, which is nice. There's also a bench over there, but I don't know if there's anything to like look at. Let's check it out. So I was too tempted by this bench. So I was like, let me just see what is over here. So I can sit in the shade on a bench. And I kind of been wanting to paint like stone walls or something. And I was like, I could paint this stone, what do you call that thing? So I'm gonna paint that. It might be just like a warm-up painting because I haven't actually watercolored in like a month or so. There's also like the side of the building here. Oh, that window's kind of nice. Maybe I'll sit kind of sideways and paint. Ooh, that window, yes. Okay, I think that's what I'm doing. All right, let's set up. I'm pretty excited by this spot, you guys. Like a bench in the shade, stone walls, what? Why didn't I think about this earlier? What's funny, if, I don't remember if I said it yesterday, but my husband and I actually had our wedding reception at this clubhouse because it's so cheap to like rent this as part of your HOA. It's like, I don't know, $35 an hour. So that's how much it costs to have our wedding reception here. So I actually took a lot of pictures on this bench, like with family members and stuff. Yeah, that's a flashback. That was like 10 years ago. Crazy. And we had our wedding reception here because we actually got eloped, just me and my husband, in Canada, in British Columbia. And then a couple weeks later when we got back from like the elopement / honeymoon, we had a big party basically, wedding reception here. And we're trying to keep it affordable. So we did this and it was It was great. It was a great time. It's a beautiful little area. It's a big space, and my 100 guests can fit here comfortably. Yeah, good times. Wish I could do it again. Getting married is really fun. All right. I'm gonna kind of sit like awkwardly sideways here. So this is the view from where I'm sitting, which is a cool like side profile of the window. It's not the most comfortable way of sitting, but I'm glad I have this bench in the shade. So we're gonna make it work. Yeah, cool. All right, all set up. Let's start painting. I had to do a few test runs to see if my angle is right, because I keep messing up the angle when it comes to filming like paintings in my lap. So I want to make sure it's really right. So we did a few trial runs and I think we're ready to go. So I'm just going to get my paints out, pour my water, do a little sketch of the window, and let's get our first painting done. Yeah. I'm going to be putting my water right here. I've been doing that the past, I don't know, several times that I've painted outside, and it seems to work out pretty well. I can get my paint closer. Since I have a bench, I'm using my stool to put my paints on, so I have everything laid out all nice. Maybe pour too much water. It's okay. We'll splish splash everywhere. Little spray bottle. Wow, the last thing I did in this sketchbook was Big Bear, which I think was my camping solo part 2 video. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like one of my favorite videos that I think I've made for Plein Air so far. It's a very fruitful trip as far as painting goes. All right, let's get to sketching. One thing I do struggle with is perspective. So this may not be perfect, but we are working on it. Hello everybody. Today is day 3 of Plein Air in my neighborhood. I'm pretty excited. The last 2 days have gone pretty good. I've been having a great time like riding my bike around. The weather is just perfect for being out on your bike, you know. But today it is gouache day. So I'm going to be packing my classic size portable painter palette that has my dried gouache in it. And I'm also going to bring just a tube of white gouache. I never actually done this where I bring like the fresh paint with me, so I'm trying to see if that will change like the consistency of my paints when I use them from the dry palette. I've traditionally been using my gouache very much like a watercolor palette, where it's pretty watered down, and I haven't been loving like the outcome with that. And so I've been doing some like research on YouTube, watching how other artists use their dry gouache palette. So for example, I watched Sarah Burns Studio, I believe. I've been watching her videos from the past where she talks about her gouache palette and how she uses them to make them more like opaque. So what she recommended doing was getting them like really wet, which I do spray them to get them wet first, but to let it like the water sit there for like 5 minutes and then like mix them around really good. Then it creates almost like a fresh paint consistency, like more sticky, thicker, as opposed to using it where it's pretty watered down. I'm curious to see how that changes, and I'm trying that out for the first time today. Yeah, seeing how it changes my painting style and painting outside, and yeah, I would love to do more plein air with my gouache. It's just, I've had a hard time figuring it out. But anyways, I'm gonna switch out the watercolor palette for the gouache one before we go. Otherwise, the setup is still the same from yesterday, so I don't have to change much. Like from when I went to oil to watercolor, I had to really change what was in my backpack. I might put some more water in this today since I'll be using more, I think, than I usually do. Taking out the watercolor palette. The gouache in there, the white paint. I should probably get some more of my water too for rinsing my brush off. All right, so we are filled up and loaded. You can't really do gouache or watercolor without water, so really important to have. And I think today I'm going to only use my travel brushes. I spoil myself too much when I pack like my nice ones because then I only use them, but I do want to start maybe going away from that a little bit, especially for like these little quick outdoor trips, just using what is in my little travel art bag. By the way, this bag is something that I got after seeing a video from Little Tiny Egg. She recommended this bag. It's very cheap on Amazon. I will try to link the one that I got. She influenced me. I think she was influenced by someone else to get it, and it really is a great bag. It has the front zipper pocket, the big main middle pocket, and then the side where it opens up to have all your brushes and pens and pencils. If you look at my travel watercolor kit video from a couple videos back, you can see that more in depth. That's it. It almost seems like too simple. I'm so used to like packing oil paints, and there's so much more to remember to bring. And I feel like I'm forgetting stuff with watercolor and gouache. But that's it. But honestly, I do have a spot in mind today. It's a tree that I can see when I pull out of my neighborhood, and it's like a willow type tree. So it's like the kind of droopy tree. And I'm always thinking I want to paint that tree. And since today's the last day of my neighborhood plein air for this week, I want to go see if I could paint that tree. But there is a bench in that same little park area. I just don't know if the bench is in a place where you can see the tree well, and also if it's in the shade. So I'm just gonna have to scope it out and see. All right, enough talk. Let's get out and paint. so this is the bench that I was thinking about. There is some shade, and I can see the tree. I hope I can manage keeping the sliver of shade somehow, even if I have to scoot when the other tree gives shade. It'd be really nice. It's another hot day, even though it's December 10th now. It's supposed to be a high of 82 degrees today. Why? Why? And once again, I'm seeing a lot of people out today. Like as soon as I walked in here, I saw 4 different groups of people just walking, like walking their dog or on a walk. And it's 11:30 on a Wednesday. Would have known so many people are out and about on a Wednesday. Does anybody work anymore? It's my husband's favorite thing to say when things are busy on a weekday, middle of the weekday. Even though, you know, I obviously am here, not technically, well, I guess I'm technically working. But not in the way people would expect, I suppose. All right, so I'm gonna spray these like crazy, these gouache paints, and hopefully I can liquefy them a little bit. Spray the bejeebus out of them. All right, we'll see how that does and leave it for about 5 minutes and we'll come and try to mix them around. And spray again if we have to. It's an experiment for me. Let's get our hat on because there's definitely sun. I'm looking basically in the exact direction of the sun. That's why we wear hats. Sheesh. Barking dogs everywhere. Okay, I said that, another dog started barking. Alright, the biggest challenge today is going to be the sun. I can already tell my paints are like drying in the heat. We're gonna go with these brushes today. Using a Shorty 6, which is like a flat but short bristles. A Filbert, what is this? Filbert 4. And a flat 4 with the long bristles. This might be a quick painting today because the sun is already feeling hot. I'm still kicking myself for choosing this to do this on the hottest week of winter. Can't predict the weather, I guess. So far the paints seem to be doing a little bit of what I want them to be doing. Things are drying fast. Holy smokes, you guys, I'm like sweating like crazy already. I hope my cameras don't decide to overheat. It is hot. I don't know why, but I always struggle painting trees, especially when I'm freaking dying right now. It's so hot. I need to be warm today, but man, I'm like almost like freaking out. It's okay, it's just December, you know. It's supposed to be blazing hot. Because honestly, this is rough. This is really rough. I tried painting a tree like this on one of my road trip videos. I don't remember if it was the first part or second part. but I struggled doing it that day too. Now I'm kind of wishing I brought my watercolor palette because I would like to redo the same exact scene but with watercolors. I feel like I'm a much more confident painter with watercolor. Not to mention I feel kind of, I don't know, second guess myself every time I use gouache, like especially from the dry palette. Like I just can't seem to quite get it, like the process or something. Especially, well, I feel good about it when it comes to certain subjects, like flowers. I don't know. I've done like a lobster in my sketchbook, but trees with gouache, like I feel like my brain doesn't understand like what layer should go first. Like, I know it's like acrylics where it's like you're supposed to go dark to light, at least from what I know. I'm definitely a beginner with acrylics too. I've used them like 3 times my whole life. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it there. I might come back out tomorrow. I was only planning on doing 3 days, but I feel like I need like a redemption day. This is proof that every artist can make bad art, you guys. Sometimes I look at paintings like a day later, I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought, but for now we're considering this one practice, and the sun being directly on me, it's tough. So, maybe I'll see you again tomorrow. If not, we're gonna wrap this up here. Day 3 with gouache in the 80-something degree heat. Okay, this pale girl's gotta get back inside. Okay, so I'm all packed up. I was only out here for a little bit. It was getting so hot, and I just don't think I'm made to be painting directly into the sun. Not when it's 80+ degrees outside. So I'm really thinking that I'll be coming back out tomorrow and painting something else with watercolors because I need a little bit of redemption. I rushed through today's and just got frustrated because I was hot and gouache is hard. So I'm gonna go around, do a little bike ride, get some wind on my face, catch some Pokemon, of course. But yeah, we'll be out tomorrow for sure. Going to. And earlier because the heat. Well, hello. Welcome to day 4, aka our bonus day of doing Plein Air in the neighborhood. Yesterday didn't exactly go as planned. It was so hot, and it's going to be so hot again today, but we are going to be smarter about picking our location. I'm actually going to bring like a little towel with me, I think, so that I can maybe sit on the grass somewhere, like in the shade. We have to be in the shade today. There's no way I'm going to do this like directly in the sun again. I was melting and I was so miserable, and I just like, yeah, it didn't go well. I mean, you were there. So yeah, it's supposed to be like a high of 83 degrees again today. Yesterday it was 84 degrees. Sheesh. And it's December 11th, Thursday at around 11 a.m. So it's gonna be hot, but I think I got a good plan today. We're just gonna find a grassy, shady spot and paint whatever happens to be near that grassy, shady spot. Anyways, so I am going to do watercolor today. And the other day when I did watercolor, I used my little tiny portable painter micro palette. And I think I'll bring that again today because it's so small, like it's so easy to pack. But I also have this bigger watercolor palette, which has, I don't know, 28 wells in it. It has 28 wells. So it's a chunker, and it has, anyways, I'll show you when we get out there. But I love this palette. It's just, it's so big, so I don't bring it with me a lot, but I think my pack can hold it just fine. I have plenty of space in my backpack here to bring it, so I'm gonna just have some fun with my giant palette, I think. And if for any reason I change my mind and I want something simpler, I have this. But yeah, I think, I know I said that I am not going to spoil myself with my fancy brushes, but I like my fancy brushes. I gotta keep changing my mind. So I'm gonna bring my giant palette and my fancy brushes, and then we'll see what we find. So let's get going, let's get on the bike, and let's get this done. Last day for sure. Last day of Plein Air in my neighborhood this week for this video. Let's go. All right, so I think I found a good location. I came back to that clubhouse from day 2 where I painted that like rock window thing. I'm on the other side of the building now. I was just trying to find anywhere where I know there's shade. And I found this in the front of it. I thought it'd be interesting subject to paint, and it's pretty and has some like pink flowers on it. Yeah, you see it there? This is where I think I'll sit, because obviously stairs can be a good seat, and then also as the shade moves I can maybe go up and down the steps. And then also from here I can see a good angle of, I don't know if you call that like a trellis, gazebo type thing. So yeah, I'm gonna get set up and we might spend about an hour painting here, I think. Don't think I'll be needing my stool for any reason. I have steps I can set my stuff on. I did not double check I had my sketchbook, but I'm pretty sure I didn't take it out after yesterday. I was so mad at the painting yesterday, I didn't want to look at it. Let's look at it today with fresh eyes. It's okay. It's not the worst, it's okay. I feel like it looks better in the shade than it did in the blaring sun yesterday. I was also thinking too, like, especially when I'm uncomfortable with something, that maybe not working so big, like maybe cut my page into 4s, or, you know, just do smaller things, so less pressure and less detail when you get smaller, you know. But that was something I was thinking about after doing this yesterday. I'm like, one, if it's really hot and I only have so much time, like, go smaller. My immediate go-to is like to fill a whole page, like here. I did with one of my outings, I did smaller things, which is nice. Just have to like keep that in mind. I like legitimately just forget to do that. My giant palette. It's kind of cool. It has like all these different little things that you can click onto it to create more mixing space. I think for now I won't use the big one. And I'll just use these side ones. See how huge it is? You know, I just realized I forgot paper towels. That's okay. I have a towel that I'm literally sitting on. We'll use that today. I also brought this other small palette that I recently got from a shop called Art Department in Idlewild, California. I bought this online, and it's a beautiful watercolor palette that honestly I forgot all about until I was packing today. And I was like, oh my God, this palette. So see how I feel after this painting? I might go do a second one just so I can test this out for the first time. finding that I like to start with a very light undercolor, almost like when you do oil painting. I like taking away that white paper, even if it's very faint. Alright, so I'm calling this one finished. I'm pretty happy with it. I still struggle creating like a lot of contrast in my watercolors, so I tried really hard to pump up the dark colors in the foreground, but it's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's better than I think it was going to come out. Let's see if I can get you. It's kind of in the side. Oh, it's hard to get the two. But anyways, there's my painting. There's the subject. As you can see, like in real life, it's way darker than how I painted it, but that's okay. I'm happy that I included the shadows, and I tried really hard to make things in the background, you know, lighter in color to create a bit more perspective. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with the location I picked. The shade has been amazing, game changer. But yeah, I kind of want to do another little one, so I'm going to ride my bike down back towards my house and maybe find like a rock or something, like something really simple. I just want to do like one more painting, maybe with, you know, my other palette that I have. Okay, that's it for this one. Alright, what are we gonna paint next? I think I might go to like where the pool area is and see if there's like any like pretty flowers. See if there's any pretty flowers to paint. I feel like that's a good little chill second painting with my cute little palette. If not, there's plenty of trees around there too. There's also shade. So that's the plan. I think I might do like a little bike ride around first though, just get some wind in my face. All right, so the last spot for today for my little tiny last oil painting, I'm going to do this plant right here. I know it's random, but I like the colors, you know how the yellows and greens, and then also there's a little wall to sit on that has some shade. So, do this little guy. I don't think I'm going to record like the whole process and like set up my camera and everything, but I will definitely show you what I get at the end. So it's not much. I did plan to keep it pretty simple and small, and look, I actually painted small, you guys. So yeah, there it is. There's my second little painting of the day. I really like that watercolor palette that I have. I'll try to figure out what it's called. It's not written on the palette box, but it's very pigmented, which is really fun. I didn't have to try very hard to get the colors onto the page and to mix them and all that. There's the 2 paintings from today together. I'm pretty happy with everything we did today. It was a nice day in the shade. Beautiful day when you're not in the sun. And that's going to conclude our week of Plein Air in the neighborhood. I'm really, really happy that I made this goal for myself. I enjoyed myself all week. I was actually excited every day to go out on my bike and be in my neighborhood and check everything out, almost what feels like for the first time. We did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages over the 4 days, so that's pretty cool. Oh, let's see, 4 pages of watercolor gouache over the 4 days, and of course the first day was the oil painting. So it's a very productive week. I like most of the things that I made this week, so that's good. To like the majority is always a win. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me and kind of seeing a little bit of like what my neighborhood looks like, where I live. I have a beautiful neighborhood. I kind of knew that, but I also kind of forgot it. I've been here for over 13 years and you kind of just stop seeing what's around you, you know? Just kind of get used to it. And yeah, I'm grateful for where I live. It was nice to get a breath of fresh air, be outside. I haven't spent time outside in a couple months, so it's very nice. I feel like I got the cobwebs off. Like I feel like I can start creating again and start getting outside and painting again. So feeling really good. I'm glad we did this. Glad I did this. And thanks for coming along with me. If you haven't already, I have to say it, like the video if you liked it today, and subscribe if you haven't or aren't subscribed. And until next time, bye.